day. I don't know, was it like 8 o'clock or something like that? I usually don't get out there until 10. I work a lot first and then come out here. But today I thought, no, I have to go. I have to be somewhere else like 11 or 12. So I said, I better do this early if I want to get it done. And that's what you do, man. If I don't do something exactly when I think I should do it, and I'll remember to do that. Man, I don't remember to do anything. Even trying to remember to eat sometimes goes by me, but that's great. I mean, I enjoy being that. But it's nice in the morning. There's less people around, so it feels cozy, being down with the monuments and just a sparkling of people and a nice bright sun, and it's warm. It's going to be in the 70s, I think, today, which is pretty good in DC. I mean, it's not really fall yet. But what I want to talk about is, boy, I mean, and maybe it's just an old age thing, but, kindness and joy seems to be, I don't know if it's a right, but we certainly all have it. And I think it's one of or two of the nicest things to have, and to be around. And if people around you are kind and joyful, man, that just, I think, changes everything in our lives. So that's why, you can't rule other people to tell them, well, you be kind and joyful today, or you're not going to get dinner, young man. I think we can't go away to doing that, but I think you can be it yourself. And I think that what brings more things to you, particularly in looking for money and help and things like that, if you, exude the, kindness and joy, people are going to want to help you more, and you will help other people's day too. And I think that's what, giving other people around us that kindness and joyful feeling is probably I think the best gift that you could give to me. But I'm 78 years old, so I have a different perspective on all this. But more importantly, there's more programs now. I mean, just in the news today, okay, here's what's going on for government grants. There's states that have more money than ever. Maryland just came out yesterday and say they have a couple $1 billion extra. 2 years ago they were broke and in the red. Now they're have so much money they don't know what to do. $2.5 billion. So they're giving it to money for retirees, okay, so taxes. So if you're retired and getting a pension of some kind, they're going to cut those taxes. Tax relief for Marylanders, so everybody in Maryland is going to pay more taxes. Help for underserved people. Okay, so people, that's people in financial trouble. So there are going to be more programs for people in financial trouble. So it's going to be rent, it's going to be, stimulus packages, things like that. Maryland already gave out, I think, like $600 to everybody. And so there's going to be more of that. California, boy, they have so much money. Like 2 years ago, they were, I think, $40 billion in debt, in their budget. Now they're $80 billion surplus. Man, and this is an election year. And the governor just, squeaked by not being kicked out of office, it seems. Well, I think it was, it looked touch and go for a long time. But anyway, so those states, there's some states that are still in the red, but it seems like the money, and some of it is from stimulus money that the states got from the stimulus packages, that Congress did, but most of it is from people, rich people paying more taxes because they made more money. Stock market going up, and so they made more money there. Real estate went up, and they made more money there. So that's the kind of money that was coming in to these states, in addition to the government money they have to spend. And there's still, every county, you go Google, stimulus or whatever, and you'll see the people, the counties, the cities, the states are trying to find out how to spend money. Now, the other thing is the rent money. There is still so much rent money out there. I read another story today. that what's happening now, it's like 6-8 months they haven't given out a fraction of what's available, and because there's 500 sources, everybody's doing it different, and it seems like if they have more restrictions to eliminate fraud and waste and abuse and things like that, then it makes more hurdles for you to get the money. And so these poor bureaucrats trying to give it out, they have to go through all these steps. So what they decided to do, forget the hurdles. So now you don't have to prove your income. Now you don't even have to have a lease agreement. Now every place doesn't have that yet. But if they don't now, they will soon, because the federal government is leaning on these states to make sure they make it easier. So there's no documentation kind of thing. That's what was holding it up. And then the other thing was holding it up is that the landlords, see, the money would go to the landlords, but the landlords wouldn't accept it, I think maybe because they're using the cash off the books or something like that. That's what goes in my scheming brain. So now they're going to start giving it directly to you. And so that's why if you applied before, if you haven't applied yet, or you applied and they're sitting on it, just start calling your elected official. And that's what you do. Call them all. You have 12 or so to shake loose that money. Not shake loose, shake loose. Shake loose that money, because it's sitting there in local, bags for your local politician, not politician, the bureaucrats, to give out. And it's just bureaucratic nightmare. It was easy for the IRS to give it out because they have all the information about everybody. But your local people don't. They don't know who has trouble with rent and everything. So verifying that was, just a nightmare. And they couldn't do it, and do it quickly. And it's been 6, 7, 8 months now. They've been sitting on this money. So all that, if you're afraid about being evicted, and make sure that you know your rights, and that's go to Just Shelter, JUSTSHELTER .org, and they have a state-by-state listing of free legal help, anything to do with your housing, your mortgage, your rent, or whatever. Now utilities also, there's a lot of money for that. It's in the rent bill, so your rent, and I'm pretty sure it's in the housing. See, there's two main programs. There's a rent one and a mortgage one, and they're both from the Biden program, and they both have a lot of money, and it's given out locally, and then you could add on utilities with those. Okay, if you just have utilities, then you have to go separately, which is local, and you have to find all the potential people where you live that help you pay utilities, and there'll be maybe a half a dozen or a dozen depending on where you live, the kind of programs. How do you find them? Well, I think a good place to start, and remember, when you do this kind of research, you have to use your phone, because you're not going to find out what's there. But you go to 211.org and also findhelp.org, and you look under utilities for where you live, and you'll get a listing of organizations. Now, you call every one of those organizations. You call, you hear that? Call, phone, like what I'm talking on. You call every one of those organizations and ask them about what kind of help they have, or who do you think has help. That's the only way you do it. The other thing you do is you call every elected official. You go to commoncause.org, you get a list of all your elected officials, and you just sit for one morning and call them all and see what happens. That's the only way. It has to be a numbers game. You don't apply to one thing, you don't ask for one person, and that's too much like getting hit by lightning. You got to play the numbers game and the odds, and make more happen. You have to make it happen. They're not going to make it happen. They're sitting there and they're reactive. So you can't be reactive when somebody that needs to help you is also sitting and waiting to be reactive. So you got to be active to make that inactive person do something, right? So that's why the ball is really in your hands. How much you're going to get, whatever. And the problem is bureaucrats and marketing people all say, this is easy, just do that. And then you do it and it doesn't work, and then what the hell do you do? Well, most things you try you think is the right way to do doesn't work. I mean, I know that myself because I've written 100 books and only 10 made money. So I know. So I have proof that 90% of the things I think are great and great to do are wrong. And I'm wrong. People who invest in startups, the Shark Tank people, they're, 85% of the companies they invest in their ideas go bankrupt. So they're wrong 85% of the time. So I'm worse than that. So that's why what you think should work, you're probably wrong, but you're on the track. So that's why you have to dig deeper in that, and you do that by being, I think, kind and joyful, because nobody wants to help you if you're not kind and joyful. I mean, certainly there is, and they will, maybe, but you increase your odds with kindness and joyfulness. And so when you get on the phone and they can't help you, then you have to say, well, I have to be nice. Well, you must have a terrible job. And I feel sorry for you, but boy, I'm trying to get out of this mess. I have no idea what the heck is out there. And see, what's neat about the people that you're talking to, they're in the business of helping people in financial trouble all the time. So maybe this is the first time in your life you're doing that. So how do you know about the programs? You haven't been there yet. So that's why to be there, you have to find people who know more about it than you and are in that business every day. That's why you hire a plumber to fix your leaky toilet. Are you going to take the toilet apart and go invest $1,000 in tools to figure out how to put it back together again? No, you hire a plumber. So that's why you hire these people who have a career of helping people with financial trouble. The same way with starting a business. How do? You go to people that make a career out of helping people start a business. And they're all government or nonprofit organizations, and they're available for free. But what you have over them is your kindness and joyfulness. We want to help each other, and that's an instinct. But if we feel taken advantage of, and somebody's mean, you don't want to help them. So that's what I think, helps you get through this nonsense more than anything. It won't work all the time. The people on the other side are going to be meaner than you ever thought. And you just got to live with that shit. That's what life is. Mean people. You don't know about. We all suffer some kind of trauma in our lives that we don't even know. There's a book out now, like The Body Keeps Score. So any kind of trauma you've had in life, that you may have gotten it out of your head, but the body keeps score. and that little monster in there comes out and makes you do weird stuff. There was a comic back in the, I don't know, maybe 80s or something. I forget what was it, Red Fox. We used to say, the devil made me do it. The devil made me do it. And that's what it is. We have stuff we don't know, and it's probably because the body keeps score of all this little traumas or big traumas, whatever we've had in our life that we don't even know that's affecting us. And it makes us act weird. But I'm certainly not a psychiatrist, psychologist, or anything but a stumbling old fool trying to get through this nonsense. But you can have fun doing it, or it can be painful, and it's disappointing when it doesn't work. Man, you get really pissed. I do. So it's trying to keep joyful people around you. That helps. And just keep trying, because the options, if you get in that downward spiral that nothing is out there, you just have to keep trying, because then that's where you get lucky and something there and gives you a spark that keeps you going and will maybe get out of the stuff you're in. And that's why, to me, what's helpful, you call all these organizations that are paid by our tax dollars to help you with these problems. So they're not going to want to sell you anything. They have nothing to sell. And that's why if you go on Google trying to do this, you're there finding people who want to sell you something to get out of the trouble. Well, you're out of the trouble because you bought too much shit or don't have money or whatever. So to me, it's sort of like you got a hole in your boat and water's coming in and somebody wants to sell you water. Well, no, I'm trying to stop bringing in more water and not pay to bring in more water. That's what happened. That's why you're in the trouble. So and that's why I see nonprofits and government organizations, even though maybe they're not the ideal of the American spirit of do it all yourself and things like that, but nobody lives like that. We live in a community and people help each other, and we decide to vote on these things to help each other. And every Fortune 500 company is in town. Every millionaire is in town trying to find out how to get more benefits from the government. And the average person may think it's wrong or something. It may be, and I wouldn't change your philosophy. If not, you have other ways. But this is an option. And now even there's more jobs. The jobs report just came out. Man, we have more jobs going begging now than sort of like forever. And there's 1 million high-paying factory jobs even available that they can't fill because of skills. Well, you could go to a government office and learn how to get skills for free to get a high-paying job in this. What we're doing now in this country that we need trained, you don't need a bachelor's or a PhD or an MBA. No, you need skills that people are willing to pay. And companies are realizing that's what happened to, I think the pandemic showed companies, hey, they got to take care of people. Wages are really going up. Now, not a whole lot yet, but, and companies are even starting to do their own training. I mean, Amazon here is hiring, I don't know, tens of thousands of people, all at an average salary, about $150,000. Amazing. And they're training. They got grant money from the government to train their employees so they could increase their income by having more skills. See, so that's why companies get this money. You as an individual can get this money so you could get a better job and create more income. And there's going to be a lot in the new Biden package. I mean, climate change. I see a proposal now. That's going to be money there. They have, somebody's proposing like in the climate change money to give $100 per acre for anybody with land so they can make it more suitable for climate change. And that's amazing, $100 an acre. That's what's going to happen. Anytime the government does something like this, that's why you got to keep an eye on these things. There's going to be a lot of job training money, a lot of income opportunities in all these programs. And that's why the fat cats are here trying to figure out how they can make money on it. Well, there's money for everybody in that. But if you're the last to know, then you don't know. And that's why, to me, it's going to be $2-3 trillion. I mean, you don't care if it's 1 trillion, 2 trillion, 3 trillion. It's still a lot of freaking money. And you got to know where that's going. It's going to go down to the local level somewhere. Okay, where in the local level is that going to be? How do you find out? When in doubt, you call your elected official because they're the one that pass the laws, and they have to know where it is, and where it's going locally and what office to contact. And that's what we do with Let's Go Help. And, what is amazing to me is more people in Let's Go Help are helping each other, than ever before. And that really does my heart wonderful. Just to see that people are helping each other, because if they're in, live in Alabama and they know they tried all these things, here's what works, here's what doesn't work. That's what we need is intelligence from people, from boots on the ground. Every state, it doesn't matter, it's just going to be varying degrees. Every state has it. Every state has all the programs, just how much and where and what the requirements are, like the rental. You know, it's all the money went to every state, and then counties and stuff. So there's 500 applications. So there's a general thing, but it's going to be specific for every application. And that's why everybody wants to know one application. No such thing. There never will be. You know, and that's why what I do, I show you where these applications are for where you live. You know, and that's the important thing. So you want to know where to look. If I gave you an application, it'll be out of date. Like even the rent grant. Now today they're changing them again. So if you applied for a rent grant, you know, in the last 6-8 months, then when they're available, today it's a new application. So if you said, oh, this is what you put on yours. If you put on, yeah, hey, I applied and this is what I needed and I couldn't get it, so it's full of shit. Well, it's not full of shit anymore. It's different. Yeah, but you don't know that. I don't know that. That's why you can't trust me or anybody else that tells you what reality is, because it's likely to be different for you. Now, I'm by the White House now. That's the executive office building. You know, like the White House staff. You know, OMB. Actually, OMB is across the street, but yeah, the counsel to the president, stuff like that. Economic advisors. You know, there's a lot of commissions, and you know, it's a big bowl of spaghetti. You pull one string and you have no idea where you're going to wind up. And that's what the government is. And if you want to use it, you got to accept it. Start figuring it out, because you're not going to change it. And everything is layered on top of somebody else. Somebody decides to have a new program. They're trying to fit it into an old structure. So it would never be the place you would want to look, probably, you know, or think of looking. So that's why you don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. And you have to go and investigate where that answer is for you, because it's different for all of us. It's sort of like taking, you know, somebody else's advice about your career. Well, that may have worked for them, you know, and who knows what is the reason why it was successful for them. You could guess, but again, it's just a guess. And so that's why what you have to do is just try stuff yourself and see what works for you. Maybe there's a little glimmer of a technique or something else to try that you haven't yet, but their success won't be your success. Why? Why do we sell billions and billions of dollars of diet books and nobody gets skinny? We just keep getting fat, right? So what works for one person won't work for another person. Or how to be a millionaire, 7 secrets to making money forever for the rest of your life and not give a shit about life or something, you know. All these books are out there. Why isn't everybody doing that? That didn't work for them. Even if they try, you don't know how many people that I talked to who bought some get-rich-quick scheme. And that's why what happened is people on my YouTube are going to say, oh, hey, you know, Let's Go's cool, but, you know, I did this and just made a zillion, and I can tell you somebody who will help you do that. They're going to get money from you. Anybody's going to ask you or find you has to make money from you. Like I am. I'm going to make $20. But that's it. And there's people all over the internet, on YouTube, on Facebook, that pretend they're me, and they want up to $2,000. I mean, a member who's already a member just got scammed for $2,000. Somebody who's saying they're me. Now that is, to me, immoral. But I don't think we're going to change someone's morality. On this, but just be careful. If anything on any of my platforms or whatever, anybody says, you know, buy me and it's more than $20, that's not me. The only thing, when you pay me $20, you got everything. I'll give you a kitchen sink. And I got some old question mark suits too. So that's fun. Actually, I was looking for the old ones and I couldn't find them. I must have given them away already. There's a homeless shelter that needed clothes, and I said, boy, I could give them a half a dozen question mark suits. That'd be fun. Have the homeless people all walking around question mark suits. But and actually, most of them have my business cards already. Yeah, it's. Remember, I think that's why everybody works with me now. We're all into really trying to be kind to everybody. I say, I don't care. I'm not going to give you the answers you should have, because they're helping you individually and they know better than I'll know what your needs are. So I let them decide for themselves or whatever, and not give them a stock answer like when you call Comcast. Well, is there anything more I could do for you today? Well, have a nice day. They don't care if you have a nice day. They care about getting paid, and they had to say that. Because you're not, hi, because you're just a robot, and because they're a robot. And robots aren't fun. So, keep having fun, keep being kind, to prove that you're not. Hey! I heard, nice job. I don't know, maybe I fix their porch or no, I don't know. But it's fun. Life is fun, but you have to make it. And it's not easy. I think life's terrible. You get beat up every day out there. And there's no answer except picking your ass up and trying it again and learn from it. And that's the only way. Otherwise, you're not going to learn, you're not going to grow. If everything you do is perfect, and there's no growth there. But it's hard to realize that. I know that. Because it's hard, sister. I don't want to do it, sister. Oh, I don't want to go. I don't want to eat my vegetables. Oh, do I have to? Well, have fun, guys. Remember, kindness and joy. Huh? What else? At least every day you can wake up and sort of be a winner. Man, I think if every day is filled with kindness and joy, that's pretty good. Talk to you later.